But this time last year, I was on my way to Orlando. So last year was the year. I took it to Disney World last year.
Oh boy.
So first thing I have is
You ready, Elaine?
Yes.
Okay.
we have two appointments coming up that are due on the 20th of January for the IDA board, Harry Whitty and Mike Padella. So we need to reissue reappointment letters for them for the 20th if we can. And we have our annual meeting, as you know, the 10th, and that was advertised in the paper this week, and it'll again be in the paper next week for the annual meeting for the IDA.
Seen it.
And I did some homework for the airport committee because they asked me at the last meeting to do some homework for them. And one of the things I did was I spoke with Joe Pesca about the options as far as whether if we keep it a county-run airport, or if we're going to do an authority-run airport, or are we going to do like a corporate-type airport. Well, we can't do a corporate airport. I think I've told you this before, because they're not generating any monies to pay any dividends to any stockholders. So we can't do that one. As far as an authority-run airport, I did download, I got the chapter, it's chapter 305 of the Missouri State Statutes on how to establish an airport authority. And it's real simple from the county level. All you have to do is advertise for 10 days and then do a resolution after that 10 days authorizing the airport authority. Once that's done, then the next election, it would be on the ballot to appoint the airport authority board. And I have all that outlined here. I know you have the books, the state statute books, but it's probably simpler just to print it out here. I'll leave it with you. And I also sent this to Bill Benhart. Is that how you say it? Bernhardt. I sent it to Bill Bernhardt so that he would have it for the next airport committee meeting. And I don't know at what point you want to do that. I know that the airport authority has they have the legal right to issue bonds. I mean, they're basically their own political subdivision. They can purchase land. They can do all that. So I don't know at what point we want to go that route, if that's the route we go, but you have the information at least.
Kelly, what would be the advantage of having an authority specifically for the airport as opposed to running it through the Industrial Development Authority?
The Industrial Development Authority doesn't have any taxing. I guess they could do Chapter 349 industrial revenue bonds, but I don't think this would qualify for that. They're not able to do a lot of the legal things that an airport authority has a legal right to do. And then also, the airport authority is run separately from the county. They're their own political subdivision, where the IDA is not. The IDA kind of runs under the umbrella of the county. So, I mean, it's basically up to the county commission at this, at whatever junction you want to do it, of what you want to do. Right now, you have the authority to do with this project whatever you want. If an airport authority has it, you don't have the headache of having any authority over it. I mean, basically, the airport authority takes all responsibility of the airport and where it goes in the future. And then the county, the way I read it is, the county can still contribute towards the airport, put monies towards the airport, but the airport authority would have, they would basically take that money and use it however it needs to be used. And then they can also tax up to a quarter for every $100 evaluation, like any other political subdivision can. So they can put on the ballot, have it put on the ballot for a taxing issue to support the authority. The authority can. So.
Well, should be okay. We'll just leave that as an issue after the first of the year.
And the environmental study, I did make up a pledge form. In fact, I got it mailed out. People should be getting that in the next couple of weeks.
Have you been getting any of them back yet, or have you?
I haven't been getting any back, but Bill, I didn't get that to him until last Wednesday. So he has it probably over the holidays. I'm sure he handed it out to individuals. Our airport, the next airport committee meeting is this. Well, what's next week? 4th is that Tuesday? 4th? No. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
4th?
Yeah. So it'd be the 4th, next Tuesday. is the airport committee meeting. So I'm sure they have forms there for the guys that are there that night, and I'll get quite a few of them back that night. And then what I'm working on now, the 10th, we have our IDA meeting. I'm gonna talk to the IDA about maybe going through and doing a not-for-profit. It would be good for them to have that anyway, since we're talking about doing this private-public partnership for next year. If we have any contributions come in towards economic development, we could give them a tax donation. If it went through the, we can make a foundation for economic development, kind of like they have at the state level. They have the Hawthorne Foundation, and that way companies can contribute to the Hawthorne Foundation for economic development at the state level, and they get a tax donation for it, you know, tax credit. So we could do that same thing here for the Industrial Development Authority, but I had to find out the 10th if they're in favor of doing something like that. If they are, then right now we're just taking pledges. When it comes time to collect the money, then we can have them make the checks out to the foundation and then be able to give a tax donation to the individuals that are able to give to it. It's not a guarantee that we'll have it in place. Of course, that's up to the IRS, whether we would have it in place, you know, at the time that we take the money in. But I would like to do that. That would just be something extra that we could give individuals for contributing towards it. And not that the individuals even asked for that. Nobody has. That's just something I feel we need in the future. We're going to need it, so why not start working on it now to possibly have it in place so whenever people do donate towards the airport, they can get that tax write-off.
When time hits, you'll be ready.
Right. So are you guys all three going to be out? Well, Sean, I know is probably not. Are you going to be able to make the 10th for the IDA banquet or annual meeting? It's the 10th. Monday at 11.
I should be able to. Where's it?
Monday.
It's going to be at Woods Fort. Huh?
Monday the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure we'll go.
There's a lot of things that we're gonna be discussing that day, as far as this possible new restructure and different things like that. So
We still have 2 vacant seats on the IDA board,
Mhm.
correct? What's the protocol for obtaining people to fill out? Do you put out a request for resumes, or what's the?
no, in the past, what we've done is we've approached individuals about serving on the IDA board, and we have a job description that I made up that we can give them, but we've approached them, and if they're interested, then the county commission appoints them officially to be placed on there. And what I'm hoping is that with this new restructure, that the IDA board is going to be more engaged with economic development, which means that I feel you're going to have more people that are going to want to be a part of it. And in the past, the IDA hasn't really been engaged that much, so folks haven't really seen a real need for the IDA, and they haven't wanted to get involved.
But there's nothing that prohibits us from maybe trying to find a diamond in the rough that may be
Nope.
outside of our radar right now.
Not at all, and in fact, I'd love to have that.
But
I'd love to have someone with some banking knowledge, some financial knowledge. That'd be great.
Have these two both indicated their willingness to continue to serve?
Yes.
So, were you thinking in terms of them being reappointed now, or?
Whenever you can get a letter to them. Their term's up the 20th of January, so we have plenty of time. But we need to get a letter to them before the 20th, just officially appointing them.
Are there other positions that are?
We have 2 other positions that are available, that are
And
open.
them are empty seats.
And they are empty
That's
seats.
what I mean.
We
You
need
have
to
2 empty
get,
seats, so
Besides.
if we approve this, there's still 2 open seats.
that's correct, yeah. So we need to get those filled.
When do the unfilled terms expire?
Can't tell you off the top of my head,
Okay.
but I can find out and I can call back over here.
Yes, today.
Yeah. Did you
I'll
see this
find out when I go back to the office and I'll call back over
Okay.
and let you know.
We'll need a motion on this.
Yeah, I move that we reappoint Mike Bedell and Harry Woody to the new 3-year terms.
Second.
Got a motion made and seconded to reappoint Mike Bedell and Harry Whitty to the Industrial Development Authority Board for 3-year terms. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Anyway, if you wouldn't mind putting a letter together where we can send that out to them, thanking them as well as for the reappointment. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You go ahead first.
I was gonna say, on a different matter on billing, I was going to in the future, if that's okay with the three commissioners.